What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about Rivian. Holy smokes, is today ever a bloodbath? I want to give you a breakdown of what's really prompting this, go over some of the data points and everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. So right now, Rivian is down 7.5%. 66.02 million shares have been traded. 44 is the average. So you do see some larger institutions buying the dip essentially, but I feel like the trend is kind of set. As I said in my last video, that I really do genuinely like Rivian, just based on the technicals, the environment that we are currently in. Rivian is due for a significant pullback. And at the time of doing that video, it was roughly around $11. But today's been a crazy roller coaster. Some things that are really affecting Rivian today, one of which is Ford. So Ford did say that they're going to be lowering the prices of their F-150 Lightning. So that's always really affected Rivian on a, demand basis. Aside from that, so Fed Speaker Collins did come out and just shocked the broader market, said that essentially if the data is very strong and continues to be strong on a larger scale, then there is no real need or desire to cut the rates. And like I've signaled in the past, the whole hope on rate cuts, that is what's been stimulating the broader market. So that's what ultimately has caused a lot of volatility today. But it looks like Rivian is just getting completely pounded left, right, and center, despite there being no official news, no SEC filings. And I guess on a side note, to make things somewhat worse for Rivian, you did have a new analyst rating right here by Jordan, who does have right here a 31% success rating. So not necessarily the best with Treast, if I'm saying that right. $11 price target was given, and they did ultimately say that there wasn't much upside. So I feel like right now the broader market is really focusing on negative ratings rather than good ratings, because Jordan Murphy with Bank of America did recently give a $21 price target. That was yesterday, but it didn't really do all that much to the stock price. So I think right now just the trend is set. As I brought up in the past, the Elliott wave technicals are pointing to Rivian hitting around $6, which is very, very unfortunate. And the latest Morningstar report, while I'm still on here, does show the fair market value based on Rivian's assets, which of course majority of that is their cash, is $17.15. So take that for what you will. If you are looking for a lot of good compiled information, take a look at Interactive Brokers for all of this information to be completely free. So take advantage of that. Link in the description below and also the comments. But moving on, so aside from the analyst ratings, Collins, as well as Ford, Rivian's just getting beaten down left, right, and center, like I said. And to make things kind of interesting, shorts did return so far about 595,000 shares. So this is why I like to look at this information and analyze it, not necessarily because Rivian's a squeeze play, but by them returning some shares and today being a very much red day, it shows that it's not really justified. So again, you can kind of take that for what you will. Cost to borrow average is 1.16%. You do see some signs of manipulation. So cost to borrow minimum is negative, so negative 0.2%, meaning there's a broker out there physically paying people to short Rivian. And given the downtrend and the death spiral that Rivian is currently on, no doubtably shorts would be probably increasing in the next couple days. So they're just taking advantage of the volatility today to return some shares, but utilization is at 66%. Looking at options activity, $10 million in calls being purchased versus 5.74 million in puts. So ultimately you do see a lot of money getting into Rivian through options, but still it's a slippery slope right now. Based on the sentiment though, 45% of all the options being done today so far are bearish, and of the call options that are being purchased, so you do see a consensus for it to be above roughly $10 by the end of next week. So you see somewhat of a recovery, but then looking at the puts, you do see a consensus for it to be sub 950, which is somewhat what the Elliott wave technicals and just the broader technicals are pointing to. These are some of the transactions that have occurred on the dark pool. So dark pools are very much linked to shorting and just larger institutions. So that is very, very active today, as you can kind of see right here. So big money is getting into Rivian, and obviously you can tell that through the options. But a lot of that is just swing trading. So I think institutions are really hesitant on getting in on Rivian. And plus, aside from that though, that recent analyst rating did say that they foresee Rivian to continue to burn a significant amount of cash. And 2024 has been relentless. Like I said, any company not performing performing to the peak efficiency levels, it's going to get slammed. And plus, aside from that, any company foreseeing, I guess, doing dilution also is getting very much slammed. Right now with it at $6 or $9.49, it is trading between this S3 and this S2. And so again, any stock trading between this range, so this S3 to this S2, is considered somewhat garbage in the broader market. So people just do not see any optimism with Rivian right now. So give yourself a shout out if you did buy today, if you sold. I did buy it at $9.51, but I've kind of just flipped it and sold it at around $9.70 or $9.68 or something like that. So it was just more of a swing trade. Even myself, I still do see more downside coming despite it down almost 7.5% right now. So the next point to watch for is $8.37 as the support, vice versa $9.62. You'll want to watch for that to be the next target for Rivian to hit and ideally stay above. But on the actual chart itself, just to give you a good overview of everything, so right now it is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, but looking at stochastic, you do see a bearish deviation, so red line above the white, and as well it is considered oversold with it at around 20. So of course, as I've said in the past, if there is a good piece of news that does come out specific to Rivian that doesn't have any strings attached to it, such as dilution, then you should see a rush of value investors. But aside from that though, number of retail investors have been getting out, and you can tell that based on the momentum indicator. So again, let me know your thoughts on Rivian. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What do you see happening with Rivian in the foreseeable future? But one final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 7 fractional shares of the Mag 7, which is a $35 total value. So that's a pretty good return on investment overall. So take advantage of this, link in the description below and also comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.